Welcome back everyone to Welstopia, and we have reached the end of the line. And that's right. Exit 70, end of the tunnel at last. We do have this branch out to the Wither Skeleton Farm, but that is being done by somebody else. And if the intent was to scare us as we moved across, I think they succeeded rather well. Rather a picturesque view of the Nether, and fortunately also safe from gas blasts. The farm isn't quite open yet, but there seems to be progress on getting the farm ready and in getting the corridor to the farm ready. But what is done is my tunnel. Yay! Alas, there's still more to do with the north tunnel. Here is my exit over here, which is pretty much how far I originally went. I have extended this a little bit, but there's still a long way to go before I reach the end. So, this one's not quite complete yet. There's only one more member who lives down that far, so I may just start the west tunnel before taking care of the rest of the north, or at least do little bits at a time for the north end. Now, I did find a stone shop that is selling smooth stone at 8 stacks a diamond, and I may take advantage of that along the way because, let's face it, coming back here to keep on mining new stone in order to keep on coming along can get a little time consuming on the matter, so it may save me a little bit of time if I pick up some stone at the market or something like that. And speaking of the market, I did do some shopping today. I got myself an elytra, a mending book to go with it, and some fireworks rockets. So therefore, I should be able to get along some flying, but first I need to remember how to do it right. Of course, at the end of the last season, I still required a platform in order to take off. I never mastered on-ground takeoffs, and I think I'm going to need to get myself a good supply of rockets before I am able to do that successfully, because yeah, 1 gold for 4 stacks of rockets is, and 1 diamond for 4 stacks of rockets isn't too bad, but if I'm going to waste a lot trying to learn how to take off from the ground, that may get expensive pretty quickly. I am back at the temple, and since the last episode, I have straightened the way down here, making a turn here, and I've done that for the other side. Now, to do it on the other side, I had to move our friend, the villager. So I've managed to channel him all the way down to there and continue that there. Now, this room here is to be my library. I'm still trying to get the villager to where I want him. And, ooh, he's there. Yes, the idea is that's where the villager will live. And my object is to be here so I could trade with the villager. Right, so I could trade with them when I wish to. And hopefully someday I'll unlock that paper trade. And I was using a wall here to channel him so that he'll just wander over, so I won't have to try to push him all the way across, and I think that was a little bit less painful, though occasionally villagers have a way of creating tricky moments. But eventually they seem to wander right where you want them, if you're patient. At least this one did. And there you go, a librarian inside the library. Now I do have to build a few more bookshelves, but hopefully I could get some more of those, either by trade or by finding some leather so I could start making books and bookshelves and all of that. Whew. Now that's done. I'm now finally down here where I can start doing all the digging I need in order to make the temple itself. Now the question is, what am I going to do with the dungeon? For the first level, I think I'm going to turn this into a farming area. In the original temple, that's where all the guards left. That's where all the guards lived. So therefore, you'd run into orcs, you'd run into gnolls, you'd run into harpies, all sorts of things all around there. And I think that since there's no way I'm going to have all that variety of monsters or anything like that, and I really don't want to try to get monsters in there, I'm just going to try to make this a good place to put my farms. Because right now, I'm going to be needing to grow some stuff. I'm going to need a pumpkin farm so that I could have a more reliable of pumpkins for things like jack-o'-lanterns and maybe pumpkin pie. But if I want pumpkin pie, I'm also going to need chickens. Now, I was trying to create a chicken coop here, but I'm lacking one very important ingredient for that, and that's chickens itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rooms down there, put various farming areas, and also my storage facilities. Yes, that will be the ideal place to put my storage facility because this place is becoming less and less tenable. Look at this. I've been undermining this place for quite a while here, and I certainly don't want to lose that quartz that I have been spending a long time digging out. So, I think this is starting to come along. I've got this here. And, oh yes, that's right. That's the pine contemplation. I was trying to remember, what was that room for? Of course, that's my spruce contemplation room. So that finishes off what's to be done with this wall. Now, I think some chiseled stone will look very good there. That will do. Now, something has to be done about the ceiling, but that's a later project. But this will lead down into the dungeon. Probably will block this off eventually, since this is not going to be part of it. Then we could turn down here and head into the main area itself. We could start building rooms. Good. We've got a library, and we have our potions room, which I have redone since the last episode. Before, I was trying to have a potion here, then ingredients above it, and I decided that didn't work out all that well. I decided to have instead a double chest for each of the 13 potions that are possible, and I based my layout on a chart that is at the official Minecraft wiki, and I arranged these in such a way that the ones that are brewed from other potions tend to be in the middle. So therefore, invisibility is under night vision, since you make an invisibility out of night vision. So therefore, I put at the bottom, I put the potion itself, and up here I put the ingredients. First line for the first ingredient, second ingredient. Now the second ingredient has components, so I put it like that, and then the third ingredient, and the remaining ones is where I'll put the potions. Nothing in here yet because, well, probably I can get a tremendous biter eye for this, but one of the ingredients is a night vision potion, so I have to keep that into account. and I do the same thing for each of these. I put the water breathing here partly so that harming could be between poison and healing, since either of these could be used to make a harming. And second of all, it's nice and appropriate to have the water breathing one above the water. So that's there. And there are a few of these that I still don't have anything for you, especially considering that slowness is made from leaping and swiftness. And I do need to catch a rabbit's foot or two if I'm going to make a potion of leaping. Now my plan is to do the advancement that involves drinking all of the potions, which means I'm going to have to be able to drink all the potions. Now I believe a healing and harming don't count because those are instants, but the ones that have a duration, they can be done here. So obviously I have enough fire resistance for that. I'll need to make an invisibility, but I'd probably just brew a few more night vision ones. Well, I could do 3 more, and I can make a couple. I need to make some carrots. That's going to be one of the farms I'm going to be making early on. Be a carrot farm, so that I can have more carrots, so that I can make more night vision potions and to make an invisibility potion. Then leaping, I'll need to catch some rabbits, so that'll be one of the key ones to do. But I got swiftness, so I can make a slowness from a swiftness if I needed to. Water breathing, I've got plenty of those easily made. Poison, I've got some of those. I guess I'll have to do the poisons last since they have a shorter duration, though. I don't know if I might be able to extend these if I really wanted to. Harming, I can probably just use some spider eyes to make those, and I've got a couple of instant health. Actually, I don't need actually harming and instant health I don't need for what I'm doing for this. Weakness I've got, strength I've got, and regenerate. So I have most of these. The big question then is the leaping and being able to get a rabbit's foot so that I can do that. I don't know if I'm going to be hunting rabbits today, but it's getting time to sleep, so let's break off and I can start digging downstairs after the break. I've already done a little bit of digging and started to mark out some areas. This is where we'll enter in, and this right here is the, well, I was going to say tunnel. It's sort of a ramped tunnel, because what we're going to do is we are going to slowly ramp down on this. Now, in the original, oh yeah, that. Yeah, I guess I meet right against that thing? Well, I guess I'm going to have to fill that in a bit, aren't I? Well, yes, that I think is the original place that I opened. Or is it? What is that? Let me check that out. Yep, that's the old corridor, so I'll have to get around and just probably fill that in with whatever brick I remove from here. I could just put that into there. And it's going to slowly become a non-issue because this is going to slowly go down. Because for these first 3 blocks, I'm going to have it right level. Then I'm going to go half a block down for the next 3 blocks and another half step down. And at the end, I'm going to go 8 blocks. And after 8 blocks, then, alright, I guess I'll just mark these out in steps of 3 then. 1, 2, 3, so I'll put that onto the 3rd. So at the end of 8 blocks, we will then be at the center point, and that's going to merge with the other end, and they're going to go slowly down towards the 2nd level, because this is one of the paths to the 2nd level of the dungeon. So then we do the same thing here. So you can see at this point we're no longer intersecting with that. So therefore, it's not going to be as much of a problem as I had. On second thought, of course, because I had steps going down there. Well, perhaps it is going to be as much of a problem as I had feared. So I'll just have to do something about that. Probably just a whole bunch of filling. Because I'm already, below that. Yeah, my measurements on the previous one were a little bit off, weren't they? Okay, and then one more of this. Then we go down one more, and then continue along the way. There'll be 4 of these steps down, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll do that 2 more times, and we'll do the same thing on the other end over here. Of course, we're blocked off there, and that will also eventually meet in the middle. And if I miscalculated by 1 or 2 steps, I think it's not going to be a major problem, because I think it'll fit together in the end. So let me build that and be back. I have dug out both sides, and if all goes well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they meet in the middle. Wow, that actually worked out. So therefore, we now have the 2 ramps going down. Now this is the floor level of each of the ramps, which means actually I have to take off 1 extra layer to each and replace them with their actual floor surface value. Now, it's fortunate that I decided to use nether brick. Actually, that's a little bit extra. So I decided to use nether brick and stone brick as my flooring when I was doing the stairs, because they have slabs. So therefore I could do a more gradual slope down, because the dungeon module is specific that it's not a stairway, it is a ramp. And yeah, you can't really do ramps, but when I go down at this rate, the grade is about 10%, and a 10% grade is a reasonably good grade to have. It's not too steep, but it's not too shallow. Now, you could maybe do a 5% to make it even more subtle, but that we obviously don't have a room to do, and I don't think the module would have worked that way, because I figured they had to go down at least 4 meters, I would say. It was probably the minimum they would have gone down. And that's just about the max in which you're going to be able to make it. But you can see, I'll just bring this all the way down, and we should have a nice group to meet in the middle, where we will then have an additional ramp that will go down this way. When the 2 ends meet, they will be doubling in size, so I'll have double width or each of these, and it'll be very wide as it goes down and ramps down. Now I'm not going to finish this particular part of it. I'm going to wait until I design the second level, because there's a stairway down further along which is also going to be going down, and I have to make sure I calculate things so the 2 are going to meet properly. And I can't do that until I have that other stair in position and know what I'm doing there, especially if the terrain around me forces me in order to do things a little bit differently. And I think that's all we've got time for today. When I return next time, we are going to build around this thing because I still have to have a corridor from the that's already been built that's going through here. I have to get past this thing and 1, 2, 3, 4. And starting right after about there is where the harpy room is supposed to be. And the harpy room is what I'm going to be turning into my main storage area. So I could ditch the temporary area that is currently getting more and more messed up as I take things away from here. So I have to get all that stuff transferred. But of course, before I can transfer it, I first need to build the room and cross this little location, which is what we're going to do in the next episode of Pineleaf Plays Minecraft, Welstopia.